going, guys? Today we're reacting to our video game character, Too Sexy. I think it's fun. I'm just gonna say it right now, but let's see if the Act Man convinces me otherwise.
Do you like hot men?
Yes. Yes.
Do you like attractive women with big hands?
She's got the same hands as me. 1 second, let me make sure they're not ripped off. I will remember. Why am I singing that song? For you. We got the bugle hands. We got the bugle. Anyways, I'll shut up and sit down and I'll rip off my arms again too. If you think I'm joking. It's just better for a lot of reasons. Anyways, let's get back into it. I got too excited.
What's up, everybody?
I need the black gloves. This is correct.
Here. And today, I'm bringing you my top 10 list of video game characters that I jerk off to. Number 10.
Hi, Vanya! So here's the thing. I've never watched the Act.
Ergot.
I'm learning a lot today.
Uncle
Lumbago.
Lately, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding the upcoming game Stellar Blade and its protagonist Eve. Many gamers are celebrating her provocative design, the exotic outfit she wears, and as a red-blooded male, I can appreciate this as well. Now, I played the demo, it was pretty fun, and I think Stellar Blade is shaping up to be a stellar game.
Hey, but
on the flip side, some folk claim this type of character design is
sorry. I'm gonna get rid of CC because I realize that not a lot of people are
unrealistic body standards and proportions.
Wait, sorry, I missed that because I have a big mouth. Go back.
On the flip side, some folk claim this type of character design is harmful because it objectifies women and displays unrealistic body standards.
Wait. Game developer accused of sexist character design, even though it was based on a body scan of a real woman. I absolutely believe that it's based on a real person, and that messes me up. But I also will acknowledge that this person is probably like extremely beautiful to our current standards, which I'm looking at them right now. They're gorgeous, right? But that doesn't matter. That shouldn't matter. Like, people saying that, like, oh, it's sex. It's like, now is the reality also that possibly they got some work augmentation? That's very possible. I'm not going to deny that. But that is not what the focus is. You can't be like, hey, this is, you know, not a real human being, but it's based on a real human being, you know? It's kind of offensive to the person that they scanned it off of.
Well, today that's what we're talking about. Sex appeal in video games. For a long time, gaming was a male-dominated hobby, so naturally, developers made games that appealed to men. This was much more apparent in the olden days where publishers had to rely on the box art to grab your attention.
Pat the homie. He's gonna have to talk about a hard subject.
Certainly grabs my attention.
Grabs my attention too.
Game you know, Microsoft needs it out for the Xbox by May. Well, boss, it's looking great. But to be honest, pinball on console is a hard sell. It's kind of boring. So how can we spice it up?
Spice it up.
Like this? Throw some chicks with guns
that's
and
hot.
swords
Bro,
on
I ain't even complaining. I want it too.
Reborn.
I'd buy that pinball. Show me the actual gameplay. I won't buy it.
Sex
show me that
in every industry.
It's true.
I don't believe it.
The same rules that apply to Hollywood and movie stars apply to gaming.
Joseph.
People like things that are attractive. They had goddesses stand around and look pretty for the midnight release of Halo 3. Blizzard paid Megan Fox to promote Diablo 4.
Oh my god, I thought she was CGI. She's so hot.
The best thing that came out of Diablo 4. The developers of the game called it Sin Episodes
asexual. I just want a game that. This is true. I'm 100% on Pauline's sentence. If anything else is suffering in the game, you need to focus on that. Pause game.
Sex appeal is an easy way to get the attention of men, but that's nothing new to video games. It wasn't new when Lara Croft debuted with her pyramid breasts.
Now, I don't know if it's art imitating reality or reality. That was a triangle titty. For real, I feel like does any other titty owners in chat, have you ever experienced bras that make your boobs look like Lara Croft? Exactly. Yes, Aphonia, I owned one that was like that. Like, unironically, yeah. You too? Oh my god, May had them OT gray fair.
But what has changed is the industry. It's much more complex and diverse now. There are more female gamers than ever before. So how do
I
we
won't
sell
stop.
games to them?
I can't stop,
Maybe we
won't
could
stop.
push out more dishwashing and cooking simulators.
God
Perhaps
damn,
we
you're
could say-
not. This is the worst part. You're not wrong. I don't like doing that shit in real life. I'd rather do it in a game.
sexualize women less,
God
portray them in
damn
a
it.
more realistic, less idealized way.
No.
No, like who cares?
No, man. Shit, no, man. I
Like,
believe you get your ass
it's a
kicked saying
game.
something like that, man.
But I
If you buy unique shaped bras at a young age, will they grow to the shape as they grow? Like a watermelon?
Absolutely. This is why you cannot stand a foot away from me. I got them long. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
think a better solution is to sexualize men more. Picture this, Ace Attorney 7 drops, and the second case takes place on a beach. This is nothing
That's a
more
good- that's a
than
good
an
place.
excuse for BAM! Shirtless Miles Edgewood.
No!
Watch
You
the
can't!
fangirls go crazy.
No!
Instant 1 million
Oh.
copies sold within 24
You're
hours.
not wrong.
Capcom, you can send me the royalty checks.
You're not wrong.
But seriously, if there is a
Wait,
major
he's
issue
cooking? He's
around
cooking.
objectifying women in video games, I say go ahead and objectify men too. It's not like we can change the fact that sex sells and companies are going to use it to
This is
sell
fair.
products.
I mean-
so why not level the playing field
Yeah.
a bit? Hot, ripped, muscly men like me with legs of the
Sam,
beach,
bro, wait.
appeal to women just as much as they do to gay guys. League of Legends has just as many
know
sexy
what?
dudes
Fair.
as it does chicks. I mean, just case in point.
Oh my. Now that's a big boy, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
There's a tendency for
Not sorry.
websites such as Kotaku to post articles like Baldur's Gate 3 slyly adds jiggle physics for dicks balls. They will
I like that he's cool with leveling the playing field.
celebrate when men are sexualized, but not women. You ask me, that's a little sexist, Kotaku. Lost Ark
No, like, no, don't bring that. Oh, I thought it was the same article about bringing ball physics.
But what, if anything,
Aw.
is wrong with Stellar Blade in particular? Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland. A doll sexualized by someone
Well, I
you would
hope you
think
guessed
has
correctly.
never seen a woman.
That is so fucked up because it is based on a model. Like it is that one they stated was based on a real person. That fucked me up a little bit because if it's even if it's based on a real person, it's like, oh yeah, she's just there for sexualization. It's like, oh come on, man.
A woman? Jesus.
There's a lot of problems with
A
this.
woman?
First off, Eve isn't even
Jesus!
sexualized within the context of the game or the events of the demo. Like, she doesn't flirt with anyone. She's not pushing her tits together, leaning over,
I am.
asking for a ride. She never says, like, who wants to have sex with me? It's not even a factor at all. Like, bro, if you want to complain about hyper-sexualized characters, go play Soul
That killed
Calibur,
me.
okay?
That
Hop
killed
into the
me.
character creator, and
That
you can
killed
make your
me.
tits super
just-
huge. Also, the
Love
demo
that.
is like an hour long with about
Some of us
15
just live with
minutes
that
of
and we don't
cutscenes.
want it. Okay.
That's not enough time to give like a detailed character assessment or review. 2B isn't fair at all because those are characters that have been around for a long time and they appear in games that are completed and have been released to the public. Stellar Blade fails to recognize the game's sexism. This was posted before the demo came out. So just based on the 6-minute showcase, there is something striking when you look closely at the images of this aesthetically successful action game.
Man, anime has some weird angles. Shows the angle. What do you mean?
They're so close to the body that it feels like a second skin. This guy has more problems with the tights industry than he does with the game. That's what
Fair.
leggings are. She has a nice
Yes.
bod and plenty of outfits to customize. Gamers like customizing and playing dress up. Bayonetta is arguably more sexualized, but
Listen,
she's
I don't
considered
need-
a
I don't
paragon of
need a
female
character that has as
representation
much
and strong
plot as
female
I
characters.
do.
So again,
You know,
what is the actual
'cause my
problem?
back would
The
hurt
character is simply too
more
sexy,
just
yet,
seeing
man.
her try to
That's
like
the
do these
issue.
maneuvers.
It's difficult not to see a
They removed the
sexualization of
character's
women, a
ass from
practice which
Overwatch.
tended to disappear in the latest video
Okay,
game
but like
productions.
Cole, you have to admit that they're trying to represent people like me, the committee of assless chaps. I love a big pair of plots, but like that the person that they're commenting on looks so realistic in a way that is like X and Y and Z are all like pretty comparable, pretty like if her fit is slim, like they didn't even like the crazy part is they didn't throw the giant plot on her. So I don't even know why they're sexualizing her so heavily. Like, I understand she's wearing tighter clothes, but okay.
Did you forget what won Game of the Year in 2023?
Ball physics.
What I like the
Jiggle
most
physics.
is that
they
every
have ball
companion
physics.
is so extremely. I wanna all of them. I do not only wanna all of them. I wanna be with them forever, for the rest of my life.
However, this choice
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This person just went into our minds and said it out loud.
when I play a game, I want to see someone who is prettier than me. I don't want to see someone normal. I want to see an ideal. I think it's
Yeah.
important for entertainment, and after all, it is entertainment aimed at an adult audience.
What you say is heresy.
These are the unbelievable arguments. I
So
wanted my video
funny.
game protagonist
100
to
after
look
seeing
good.
that clip.
How could you say something so brave yet so controversial? Like, this is sexist now? Well, shit. I don't want to be sexist and play this, so from now on, I'm only playing games with ugly protagonists. Like, they just made a hot protagonist and gave her a bunch of outfits. That's it. And for some, that's the issue. The
Why is that an issue?
unrealistic body standards that are detrimental to women who consume this sort of media. And we'll get into that later on. Some good
This
and bad
freaks me out.
examples of sex appeal in
Maybe
video games.
there's
You see,
women-
it's not whether
Maybe there's women out there who have had enough. You know, maybe they've tried to hit the standard, but I don't understand why. I feel like that's a
you
self-conflict.
sexualize characters in a video game, it's how you do it. Games like Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk, Dragon Age Origins, KOTOR, and Mass Effect offer a diverse cast of male and female companions to simp for, and they all feel like real people. Their personality is not solely defined by how sexy they are. If you're gay or a little bi-curious or just want to see how those romances can play out, those options exist. They add diversity to a game in RPG in a very good way. You know, this old reliable clip is actually relevant to the discussion for once.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Wait, this isn't the right video. Yeah, hold on, I gotta switch it. You know what? Fuck it, keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling. Go, homie. Go off.
Oh my god, shirtless John Marston.
That's lewd! Oh my god,
But
he
Red
has
Dead
his
2 is the
nippies
perfect
out,
game
his
to illustrate
bipples.
the power of
His
diversity.
bippies.
And perhaps sex appeal, because RDR2 appeals to the male
That is my
and female
fantasy.
gaze. Just
I'll
as you
take
can
a flush of your
customize the
Willy May.
outfits
Thank you.
for
Thank
Eve,
you,
you
Clocknoff.
can do the same with Arthur. Again, it comes down to both of these characters feeling like real complex people that you can just inherently find attractive. You actually have to
Yeah,
flirt
that
and
what
riz
they
them up.
the
You know, maybe
examples
there
you
was
just
a Time
showed were a
Splitters
little bit weird.
Future Perfect joke that went a little too far.
You go first.
Okay.
But the over-sexualization in that
Understood.
game is part parody and part fan service. Personally, I have always found Ivy Valentine's design to be hilarious and over the top, and that has been a topic of debate for a long time. But her design is also iconic. She has earned a place in gaming culture.
It kinda
Some
gets
female
to a
characters are
point-
defined by their sex.
It kind of gets to a point where, like, I know a lot of people go with, like, oh, character design, you need to be able to recognize the silhouette. And, like, if every single character is wearing skin-tight stuff and their silhouette looks exactly the same, then it's just not good character design in a way. But, like, she looked iconic because her build was, like, she looked Olympian. Like, she looked ripped, which is pretty cool. Like, I don't see it super often. Just like Karlach. Like, Karlach looks ripped as which is really cool for character design.
Appeal, while others ride the line in between.
My
Samus
gamer
is
brain,
hot,
I don't care. She's hot.
but
Oh,
she's
100.
also like a real person, kind of. Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball takes sex appeal to an extreme level, and it's mostly a gimmick, but at the same time, the game was an impressive display of physics. On the other hand,
There you
you
go.
got something like the new Fable
Roll for
trailer, which
initiative.
a lot
Oh
of
shit!
people
One
reacted
second. I got my
negatively
dice
to.
right here. Mm-mm.
They blasted the design of this female character, and well, she does look pretty silly. I think people would have reacted a lot
Yeah,
better
they
to
kind
this
of made
trailer
her
if
nose
they
look
had
more
taken
like
the angle
bulbous,
of our protagonist
like
is the
inappropriately
antithesis
because
of your
it's
typical
supposed
hero,
to be a
and she's
person.
thrust into the role of being a hero. But the trailer doesn't try to tell you that story. This character is just kind of ugly for no real reason. Like in Beautiful
I would see when they zoomed in like that. Here's the thing. Maybe I'm kind of messed up
kind of ugly for no
because they
real
don't-
reason.
they don't look ugly to me here. but they definitely don't look at fantastical like a lot of the other ones. And also the actress does not have a nose that is that bulbous. Yeah, oh yeah, that's kind
like
of what we're
Beautiful
talking
Joe,
about.
you play as a comic book movie nerd who gets
And I don't know
sucked
how I feel
into
about it.
the movie and has to become a hero, even though he's a fucking nerd. He's the antithesis. That could have worked for Fable, but they don't really tell that story in the trailer.
Well, it was a
So
random
it comes
head pet.
across
Let's
like
go.
it's made to appeal to the body positivity crowd, and a lot of gamers just don't care for that. Multiple studies have shown that both women and men feel lower levels of self-esteem when consuming
Okay.
media where characters have that ideal body. Now, you don't really need a study to
Okay.
tell you this, because if you're a
Understood.
dude and you've ever watched 300 and thought, damn, I'm a fat ass, well, then you're just like me. But you also probably don't think about what Gerard Butler went through to look that
Yeah,
good.
that's the
In the
thing
same way you
too. When
probably
it's a
don't
real
think about-
person, it's so much harder, right? You have to like. I don't know. I feel like there's a weird disconnect here. Like you're saying, you don't naturally just have the massively ripped body, you know? And I don't know. I just feel like video games is not the place to try to have more body inclusive stuff. I think they need to put more articles out there explaining like this shit was not like the actor being like, yeah, that role was very hard to do. I had to work out every single day. But that also brings another thing into view, which is like, I really hope these actors and actresses are not killing themselves for these roles. Like, I've unfortunately heard of some doing insane diets before their roles. And it's like, what is the root of this? What is, like, when did this happen? When did this start? And why are we so focused on, like, damaging our health for something so unrealistic? But in all honesty, video games are not, I don't feel like, the frontier for this. But like, someone might come and argue that every single piece of media needs to be representative of the people consuming it. But I feel like there's just so much variation in body size, shapes, looks, ethnicity. Like, how could you possibly, in all of like God's green earth, include everyone?
Of course, we wouldn't want any exaggerated body proportions on male characters. It might make us men feel insecure. And if you look at the
Yeah.
replies, well,
Yeah.
first off, this is the guy who was the art director for Gear.
See, this is why we can't go saying this stuff. This guy literally fucking looks like he's copy-pasted into the game. He is Gears of War. What a badass.
You should use those feelings of insecurity to better yourself. Go on a walk, eat healthier food. Ideally, that's what people would do, but that's not always the case. Lord,
Yeah.
grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can,
Not
and
wrong.
the wisdom to know the difference. None of us can change that sex sells. It's a marketing tool. You can't get rid of it in media or business. So
My
the best thing
second
to
pet
do
would have
is
been
become
perfect.
the best version of yourself. In my experience, actual sexism in video games happens in voice chat or mostly at the studios. And I think focusing too much on whether this character is too hot or not distracts from the conversations people should be having about how women are treated in the workplace and in the game industry.
That's very
What's really
different.
obnoxious is when
Yeah.
people try to Photoshop official character art to be more or less sexy to
Yeah.
prove some kind of point.
It's
Is it just
weird.
me, or is this shit kind of weird? Like, hey, the marketing for GTA 5 would have been much better if the chick with the cell phone was fatter. What? Why did you do this to
I wouldn't
Cortana? What? She's a fucking man-made AI. She's not a
It's
real
so
person.
weird. It's
Are some
so
of these
weird.
body types really that unrealistic? We live in a world of plastic surgery, for God's sake. Then there
Yep.
was Horizon
That's
Forbidden
actually gonna
West,
get
where
me
there
to
was
my
like a
next
couple
one.
shots in one of the trailers where Aloy looked a little chubby, and some people started freaking out about it. And they were like, well, what would she look like if she slathered a bunch of makeup on her face?
Oh,
I just think
Lord!
obsessing over this kind of
Oh,
stuff isn't healthy.
these levels
If you're
of
going to
videos.
obsess over it,
It's a
then
me
do so in the
problem. Will I
gym.
never
It's important
find
to
this?
note that the
Probably, and I
problem with
accept
this
that.
whole debacle
And
is
that-
not about
as long
who's
as you
design.
recognize
the
that,
problem is quite simple.
you know?
A game developer and
The
thousands of
Stellar
internet
Blade
users are bluntly
character is
describing
not
Eve as an ideal woman.
Someone that
the only woman
typically, you
that
know,
men want to see. Also,
'cause it was
labeling
based off
Eve
of
as
possibly,
the
like,
only
a
kind
really
of
hot
woman men
model?
want to see is wrong on so many levels. Dudes will thirst over anything with a pair of tits. Despite having specific outlets for this content and now needs to be injected into all media to cater solely to them. How is this any different from putting realistic body standards in video games to cater to a different crowd? It's not. What? Company make product because want money?
Money?
Valve is challenging narrow
Money?
beauty stereotypes within the games industry with a new campaign that promotes avatars that look like real women. Again, you have to remember that these companies are fucking massive and they're making these decisions because they think it's going to increase revenue. You've got Stellar Blade, which is like, hey, let's lean a little bit into sex appeal to sell the game. And then you've got, let's portray women in a normal way to sell the product. And both of these things are fine.
Okay,
but
yeah.
you can't pretend you're better than the opposite side if your end goal is the same. Money. Now, some
It
people
is,
are only going to care
if
about
your
what Stellar
focus
Blade
is
represents
like if you're
in their
focusing the
ongoing
story to
culture
be
war. But at the end
for
of the day,
a
what
more
matters
quote
most to
unquote like
folk
realistic
me
crowd, then
is
it
if the
makes
game
sense
is
to make your
awesome
character look
or bad.
more
Is Eve going to be a flat
like
lifeless
not a
husk?
massive
Or an
ideal.
interesting character who just so happens to be a baddie with a gyat that won't quit.
Yeah.
In conclusion,
Yeah.
Rule 34
I'ma be
has
real,
been
their
around
gyat
for
is
about
kind of
20
not super
years.
huge, so-
People are going to sexualize your game and your characters even if
true.
you don't.
It's true,
Sex
Rule
appeal in
34
gaming isn't
exists.
inherently a problem, but there are pretty clear ways of doing it right and doing it wrong. Instead of wasting our energy discussing things that will never change, maybe we should focus on the design and fun factor of
Yeah.
the game. If it's
Try to make
visually
your character
appealing,
design
or,
unique.
God forbid, how women are treated in the actual workplace in the game industry. The recent controversy around Eve and Stellar Blade isn't a new phenomenon. I think it's ridiculous to criticize it for shallow reasons like the character is too hot. It made me feel bad. And it's equally absurd
yeah.
to criticize a protagonist that isn't hot enough. Is the design good or not? Does
It
the
feels like
character have
either
a
way, it
reason
goes
to look
so
like
badly.
this? Sure, there are some instances of objectification and bad sexualization in video games, but in my experience, these are pretty
Katana.
rare. Unrealistic characters can affect the average Joe or Jill's self-esteem, but at the end of the day,
Stop
you
showing
have
his
to learn to be
titties!
happy with your own image. Nobody
Tell me
can do
more
that
about
for
this
you.
rule.
Your self-esteem
34.
is not the responsibility
Nothing
of
is
some
safe, nothing is
multi-billion-dollar
sacred.
corporation. Sex sells, and you can't fight that truth any more than you can fight gravity.
I feel like the main focus should always be the game itself. I don't care if your character looks like a model or if your character looks like your average Joe. Yeah, guys, comment below. If you guys like this, check out some of the other videos, maybe possibly subscribe, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thank you so much to this month's patrons. You guys are seriously the best. If anyone else would like to be
Immortalized.
into this video, please consider checking out my Patreon, and here are my other socials. Thank you, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.